We've been trying all this time. So where do we go? Where do we go? You've had secrets. I've been blind. So where do we go? Where do we go?
So guys, this is the MSI GTX 1060 Gaming X 6G. Now, if you want to pick up this card, you can do so courtesy of our partners at B&H Photos. They provided us this card so we can actually do the review. So use the link down below if you want to pick it up. Now, before you even run ahead and pick up this card, you're wondering how good does it perform? Now, the 1060 retails for $299, the MSI version that is, and this is supposed to combat AMD's 480 card. So it's relatively well priced as of course, an NVIDIA card, because usually they're more expensive. Now, this card comes with a lot of things. It has its own custom cooling. It is also some custom lighting on the custom cooling itself. It's got a nice large cooling radiator to keep this thing really cool. You've got 5 ports at the back. You've got 3 display ports, as well as a single HDMI and a DVI slot. Now, of course, this card is supposed to handle VR. It's got DirectX 12, G-Sync. It should give you all the things you need. Now, that MSI logo lights up too, and you can see there is no SLI capabilities on this card, and you've got an 8-pin connector at the back for power. And those are also the LED strips across the cooling of the card right there. You can see at the very bottom. Now, we're putting this in board prime, so we have the specs for you on screen, so we can get the best performance out of this card. So basically, the system can handle anything, and the card will give us our best performance out there. So first game is the Division. Right now it's going to be spec'd at Ultra for you, and at Ultra we're getting roughly around 27 frames per second, which is not what you want from this card. I mean, in general, well, this resolution is 3440 by 1440, so we decided to drop this down to high. Now, this is not a 1080 or 1070, but we should be getting some really good performance anyway. So we decided to drop things to high to see how well this game actually handles in terms of performance and what we can get from that. And once we move to high, you find out that we're getting closer to around 40 to 50 frames per second, and it handles much better in that case scenario. So you can see very fluid motion as we're running across the city here. Now, by the way, I deleted my Division profile by mistake. It's a long story, which is why I'm at the very beginning of the game. But even here, we dropped down a little bit to 40, and we're able to at least handle things quite well. There are no slowdowns, and I think you get some really good performance from this card altogether. So a game like Division, which has an open world, a lot of things to process, you can see how well the card is actually doing there. So that's a huge plus. I think that's something to take note with the GTX 1060. So if you're looking for a moderately priced build, this is the card you might be looking for. Now, a game like The Witcher 3, again, another open world game. This is set at Ultra. You can see it's playable. It's a little sluggish because we're doing about 27 frames per second also, because we want to show a lot of the detail in the game. And yes, this thing can push out details for you, but you're going to sacrifice that for performance. So we're going to go back into the settings and change a few things here to see what we can get with the game while doing something a little bit better. So we're going to go to the post-processing, drop that down a little bit, and go ahead and change this down. At medium, we're getting closer to around 30-something frames per second. Sorry, at high, we're getting something closer to around 37 frames per second. So we decided to change this to actually medium because we're going to be able to get better frame rate. Now, there's 2 things you're going to notice. You're going to notice the graphical fidelity, of course, drops, but the performance moves up much higher. So that is what you're going to get with this card with something like a game like Witcher. You can play it, but you have to drop certain settings down. So we decided to change this to high. So to medium. So right now we're on high, I apologize. And then we're going to go back in and change it to medium just to see where our frame rate is. Again, it's like 30 something right now. And once we move this down to low for post-processing and we go to the graphics and change that to medium, this is just the custom settings. Of course, you can customize it any way you want to get the best performance you're looking to achieve. So you can see the graphical fidelity has dropped down on medium, but we've gone up to about 40 frames per second, 40, 50, and there are no slowdowns and sluggishness within the game. So that's the kind of things that you can expect with the 1060 running this at. Of course, the resolution is 3440 by 1440. Now, a game where this card actually performed very well was actually Doom. We're getting close to around 60 frames per second. Sometimes we hit 60 frames per second. This, of course, is Doom multiplayer, and you can see their clock is 47, 48. Some moments it gets up to 50, 50 something. At some points, it goes up to 60 frames per second. So Doom handles really well with this card. So again, the GTX 1060 can do a lot of things. Now, we saw with our 1080 was doing closer to 100. We saw the 1070 do around the 80s and 90s. So it's good to see that this is doing between 40 to 60 here. To 40 something to 60, around 47 to 60, which is good. So again, the 1060 can handle a lot of your games. It just depends on how your settings again and what games you're playing. For the price of the card, I think it does fairly well. Now, you've got the MSI gaming app, and of course you've got your MSI Afterburner. Afterburner, of course, allows you to do some overclocking and things like that, and also record gameplay. The gaming app is meant to be more of a simplistic app for you to actually go do things like overclocking, setting game mode, things like that. And of course, you can change the LED for your card. You can also change the cooling, all that fun stuff together. Now, the one thing I don't like about the gaming app is that the gaming app, when you set it to in the overclock mode, performance difference is not that much. I got an extra 10 on Doom, and maybe so it was still close to what I was getting normally with the card overclock. So I suggest using MSI Afterburner and tweaking that to get the kind of overclocking that you definitely need. Now, when it came to VR, this card had no issues at all. Space Pirate Trainer here, we're doing 80 frames per second, and it stayed constantly in 80 while gaming in VR. So in terms of your VR needs, and if you're looking to build a cost-effective VR machine, this card can actually do that for you. It's well priced, and also you can fit it into your system and it will handle most of your gaming needs. So it's good to see here that NVIDIA and also with MSI is offering something that gamers can actually purchase, because NVIDIA cards usually are pricey. So I like the fact that you can actually come down to something a little bit more cost effective and build your own gaming VR rig. So the GTX 1060 Gaming X from MSI, this card right here, is a really good card. Handles VR very well. Also, we saw gaming at 3440 by 1440 because I've got an ultra-wide monitor, and it did a good job there. I think Doom was a game that handled the best with this card. Also, you can overclock the card, so which goes a long way in giving you better performance, and that's also pretty good because the amount of money you're paying for this is relatively inexpensive compared to everything else in the new GTX 10 series card lineup. So if you're looking to pick one up, because I suggest you should, it's a relatively inexpensive card, definitely use our B&H Photo link down below in the description. You can get your card right now, order from B&H Photo. I want to thank them again for sending this card so we could actually do this video for you. So guys, this is Thunder E saying thank you very much. Leave your comments down below. If you have any questions, also leave that down below. Don't forget to like and share this video, favorite this video, and you know what? Let me put some shades on first. I'm gonna throw some shade at you. Kevin, the Tech Ninja. Yes, I'm calling you out, Kevin. You know what? I'm calling you out to say your builds are crap, and I'm gonna challenge you right now to see who can build the better $600 VR gaming PC. Yes, and we wanna make it easy for you, bro. I'm gonna do an all AMD build. You can do the easy Intel NVIDIA build, which everybody does, to see who makes the better build. Now, we're gonna be testing on performance, gameplay, that kind of stuff. None about flash videos and all that crap, but the big kicker here is the fans get to vote. So, if you accept, let me know on Twitter. Thunder E out.